So today I'm talking about a P0604 code, what it is and how you can go about fixing it. And so what is a P0604 code? Well, it's an internal control module, random access memory, RAM, error. And so what does this mean? Well, basically modern vehicles have computers that control everything. And the main computer, which can be called the powertrain control module, the engine control module, or the engine control unit, is basically the main computer, and it controls all the engine functions and things along these lines. But when you get this P0604 code, there's some kind of problem going on with the random access memory modules that's on the board. It's not passing a self-test it does that the computer runs periodically. So basically there's some kind of issue going on with the computer, and so it's going to be troubleshooted to know why. And so what would be some possible causes of a P0604 code? Well, the first thing to go and do whenever you have any kind of computer-related issues is go and be sure that the power supply going to the computers, that's good, that there's no problems going on there. Because basically all the computers in a vehicle, they all need a good, stable power supply, or else that can cause problems. So the first thing to go and do is be sure that the battery's good, be sure it's holding a charge, that there's no issues going on with it. Also check all your connections, be sure those are good. Because the first thing that could cause this is that there's some kind of issue going on with the battery or with the battery connections. And the next thing that could cause this is some kind of charging system problem. And this mainly has to do with the alternator. Some newer vehicles also have a battery sensor that'll be located up around the battery somewhere. But basically, if there's some kind of issue going on with the alternator, if it's not charging correctly, if it's gone bad and the voltage is too low, or if the voltage is too high, then that's going to cause problems. There is a real quick way to go and test and see if there is an alternator problem, and be sure the alternator is charging correctly. If you have a multimeter, basically you could go check the voltage at the battery, start up the vehicle, and the alternator output should be roughly between 13.5 to 14.5 volts. You can look up what your alternator is rated to output, but usually if it falls between 13.5 to 14.5 volts, then it means the alternator is charging. One thing to keep in mind is that some newer vehicles, they have what's called smart alternators, so the voltage can vary sometimes. But by far, usually the voltage falls between 13.5 to 14.5 volts, then it means the alternator is good. But the next thing that could cause this is that there's some kind of charging system problem. And the next thing that could cause this is some kind of wiring issue or possibly a blown fuse. Basically, if there's any kind of open or short, if there's a bad connection inside there or something like that, then that's going to cause problems. So if you can, it's a good idea to go check out that wiring. Be sure everything looks like it's plugged in good, things along these lines. Also be sure to check for any blown fuses. And basically just look for any computer-related fuses and be sure they're good, because the next thing that could cause this is some kind of wiring problem or a blown fuse. And the last thing on the list is going to be that the computer's gone bad and needs to be replaced. This isn't too common. Usually when you get like a P0604 code, it's going to be something else like a bad battery or the alternator's not charging correctly or a blown fuse or something along those lines. But it does happen sometimes. These computers can go bad. One thing that happens with these computers sometimes when they go bad is that components burn up on them. Not all the time. These computers can go bad if they don't have no burnt components. You won't see anything visibly wrong with them, but quite often they do get burnt components on them. So if you can go up around that computer and you smell like a burnt smell, then it is possible that that computer has some kind of problem with it. Some people open them up and examine the components and check to see if they see any burnt spots. Because if there is a burnt spot, then you know it's failed, you know it's gone bad. Because the last thing that could cause this is a bad computer. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a vehicle with the P0604 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.